Judy Vaharja.
Hey, how you doing?
My name is Maggie.
My name is Patricia.
And we are both members of the Tulca team. And we're here to chat to you today as we have got a training coming up, a trauma-informed training this September, the last weekend of September. And we wanted to chat to you a wee bit about it.
It's been a long time coming. We've both been working in community with marginalised groups, but also just facilitating with anyone and everyone who's come along. We've trained, we've got lots of feedback, we've had great conversations. It's time to share what we've learned.
So this course might be for yoga facilitators or perhaps holistic facilitators, could be breathwork or people that lead circles or different spaces that are keen to kind of cultivate more around trauma-informed facilitation. So trauma-informed, what does that mean? What does that mean, Patricia?
We like to shortcut it, don't we? Because there's so much debate about this term online, and I do think it does mean something a little bit different to each group. But ultimately for us, being trauma-informed means being human-informed. It is to understand what serves humans and what hinders us in our well-being, how to create reliability and safety and relationship in all that we do. And to ultimately understand that we may or may not know what someone is bringing into a space, but all the things that benefit those who have experienced horrible things in life actually also soothe anyone and everyone else.
And community is at the centre of the work that we do with Tulca, especially bringing these somatic and yoga-based practices into communities that maybe wouldn't have access to them. So social justice is a big piece in that as well. Who gets access, who doesn't, who is privileged to these practices, who doesn't, who feels safe in a space, who doesn't. And we believe that well-being is really like a human right. So that's really woven into how we teach and how we aspire to be in the world and within our work in Tulca.
And we're covering all the bits you'd expect on a trauma-informed training. So we're covering neuroscience and trauma basics and how the mind and the body work after trauma. But we're also covering consent and how we can model and monitor consent, safe touch and if or when it is appropriate, and how to keep our practice not just on the mat but also alive in everyday life.
So there will be some of those like more neuroscience pieces of learning. There will also be opportunities to reflect both individually and within the group, which we feel is really important. And then there will be the little, we call soma snacks in between as well, these somatic practices that kind of allow it to land within us. So it's going to be a mixture of different ways of learning. Because we learn it is all relational, so that really helps with the integration, and the group so far is shaping up to be really lovely. So we're excited to see who wants to join us. This is particularly for people that really like their heart is in the community and they want to work within these community settings, but maybe just don't feel quite equipped or maybe a little bit overwhelmed, but their heart is there.
I love that. And we've got lots of interest, which is nice. So the people who are messaging us, asking questions, they're exactly the people we had in mind. And if you have some training already, but you want to dive deeper into your local community, or if you want to broaden that idea of what does it look like in time and place that we're in right now, I think this is the training for you.
And feel free to reach out to us. We're really happy to answer any questions, either over Instagram or email, or if you want to have a wee chat. We're here and we're open to hearing more about you and your expectations and what you'd like to get out of this.
Who wouldn't want to join us? Early bird's on until the 31st of July. You just need to pay your deposit and then you're on the move with us. We can't wait to see you.
All right.
There should be some outtakes.
This is our bloopers.
Yeah. Look alive. Do you want to do it again? Do you like to say anything? We can
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. We can also have like snippets of that scheduled to go out.
Sounds good. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Maybe more like a chatty chat kind of thing. What's like the one thing that was really hard for you to learn when you were working in communities?
It was hard for me to learn. Well, I often think it's actually unlearning a lot of the time. And I think the unconscious bias sometimes still really surprises me, that I'm like, why would I think that about this person, or make an assumption? So sometimes that comes up, and I think that's one of those things that check-in, that unconscious bias is like something we need to be doing all the time. It's not like we're trauma informed now, we've checked the box, we're good for life, we're anti-racist now forever because we've done a workshop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 hours.
That's not how it works. And the thing is, I think people can get quite like defensive and think, oh, like I'm not racist, or I'm not biased in any way, or I'm not prejudiced, but like we actually all are in some way. And it is hard to look at, but I think there needs to be that willingness to look at it, because otherwise we're kind of putting that on the other people to do the work for us, and it's just really not fair. And I think really feels to me like that yogic principle, the Swajaya, the self-study, is like, it's not always very nice looking at ourselves, but it has to be done, especially if we want to work in these spaces. Then it's just necessary. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I really resonate with what you said. And to also have places where we can say, oh, I've just done this thing really wrong, and can you help me figure out what I'm missing? I think it's important to me, so that there's no shame. We can go and say, oh yeah, no, I really have to level up my game in this area. Yeah. But yeah, based on all of what you've said, I think also the realization that our life teaching in class and helping people recover is directly linked to the life that happens outside the studio or the space. So living a life full stop that doesn't end with like an hourly practice, but actually that puts into practice all the things we like see in class, and then we go out and do them. Yeah. So that hopefully eventually we'll live in a culture where we don't have to really offer trauma-informed yoga because we're less traumatized.
It's just like a way of being as well. So when you're saying, and I love that you're kind of bringing in the anti, like not being a perfectionist, because I think that really like allows for other people to be like, oh, the teacher just made a mistake and they don't really care, or they just laughed it off. Yeah. I think I find that like really refreshing.
One of my most formative experiences in sort of learning how to be a yoga teacher was coming to share practice and seeing one of the senior teachers fall out of their handstand, and it was so liberating because I was working on lots of things, being really hard on myself, not feeling enough, and then I saw them, and not just falling out, but then how they handled that. Wow. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well if they're doing that 20 years in, 30 years in, then I have no hopes of ever getting this perfect anyway. Yeah. And it taught me so much about how.
And also, I don't think I've ever done a handstand. I don't really care anymore. I'm like, it would be kind of nice, but it'd be kind of fun. But I don't think I've even gotten close to one. But that's not what it's about. No. Is it? No.
But also the fun of like playing with shapes, but not for shapes' sake. Yeah. It's like the older, I think when you start, you're like, oh, I'm going to do all of these fancy things. And then you get really excited about fine-tuning the basics. And, you know, metaphorically in life, it's not about the flashiest of life, but just deep fulfillment and presence and
that's what
awareness.
Being a yogi is as well, or like, you know, being anti-racist or anti-fascist, or, you know, having a social justice orientation. Like, it's how you live your life. So it's like, how do we ingrain this and how do we integrate it into how we just be and how we are?
It's such a big part of our training, isn't it? Because we have the fortune of having each other, and I know I've got this gorgeous community of people who are all doing this work and connecting in, and I think it's one of the reasons I rarely burn out. But having to set good boundaries, understanding my own limitations, knowing how to take care of myself, I think that's a really big part of what we're teaching too, that when we go into trauma spaces, we then also make sure we nourish ourselves and we connect with each other, and you know, we build a really good sustainable lifestyle for ourselves so that we don't suffer.
Yeah, and that's why like those communities care, like we talk about them, and sometimes it can be like, oh, that's for other people or something, but like actually like yoga teachers and facilitators, like they give so much, and like we've been talking a lot about people who work on the front line with people, like often nobody looks after them, but it's like, who helps the helpers, you know, we have to kind of model that as well.
I was so guilty of that at the start. I think I really got into like massage and therapy because I wanted someone to do that for me.
Yeah.
And then
you're trying to create what you
I
want
gave
to
it
see
for
in the
everyone
world.
else.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of like what social justice kind of work is. It's that visioning and dreaming, that like it's not just the hard graph, but it's also keeping that space for like, what do we want to see? Like there's a lot of gaps out there, isn't there? Like we're not really living, well, I don't know. Do you feel like we're living in the...
No, what a time to be alive. But then hope is a practice too, right? When we talk about trauma integration, there's like the stabilizing in the morning, but there's also the reconnecting and the hoping and actually not losing faith for the world and seeing each other show up for a world that we actually want to be in.
Yeah. And like, I think that comes back to me for the name Tulca, where it comes from, because like when I was trying to choose a name, I was thinking of all these kind of yogic words and nature words, and Tulca's an Irish word. It comes from the sea, and it means a huge wave or a massive fish or horn-led charge, which I really like the idea of, like, especially in justice work, we talk a lot about like we're a drop in the ocean, because a lot of people are like, can feel very like insignificant, and in some ways we are very insignificant, but like, how can I make any change? But if we are coming together, like-hearted people moving towards something similar, we're kind of that powerful wave of change. So that's kind of what I see Tulca being, and I hope that we can create that in all of the work that we do.
I really feel we're modeling that. Like I see it modeled in the way that we have this conversation, like what goes into the books, what does not, how do we set it up, how do we agree on certain things, how do we talk to each other in between projects, but also how are we setting up the day, are we factoring enough rest, are we factoring good food,
which we do have really good food plans. Yeah, which I'm actually getting hungry thinking about it.
Yeah,
we've got the Kind Economy catering for us, who are we set up by PPR because some of you might be aware that like refugees and asylum seekers in this country are made, like, they're just treated really awfully and made jump through hoops. It's made really difficult for them. If you're asylum seeker, you can't work, and some people can be in that space for like years and years. So it's to combat the harsh environment that the government has created here. The Kind Economy has been set up, and one of the aspects of that is a catering business. And it's not just your dry and dusty like sandwiches and wraps.
No, it's good
like
stuff.
Delicious food.
Yeah.
So we've got them catering on Saturday and Sundays. So we want you to be really nourished in all ways. So that is part of the fee. We're also going to have our program printed.
Yep.
Which we were developing at the moment, and we're really enjoying putting that all together. We've got so many ideas. We're like, how do we put this all together?
Hey.
There might need to be a 60-hour training down the line, but we'll see how we go. And we are also planning like an opening call and an integration call afterwards, because I often find that like when you do these, like they can bring up a lot as well. Personally, it obviously like makes you think a lot about your own life and your experiences. So we want to keep that kind of sense of connectedness and we're together, and that little bit of support and space to kind of name.
We also know loads of people are coming because they themselves might be in the margins in some way, or they might have had experiences of trauma. And so we want to make sure that we can do what we can do to make those discussions as safe and as manageable as possible, to make sure that we lay out the training structure in a way that allows for people to meet their needs, their individual needs, not just the group need, and also so that you don't leave on the Sunday feeling like you need to recover for 3 weeks, which, if you've ever been to a training, can be intense.
And like, what I find is the teachers that I love the most are able to name like all the hard things, the trauma and the social justice, like the conditions that we're living in, of like we're living through a poly crisis, like there's no denying that. But I somehow leave the space feeling more connected to the people who are there, more of an active sense of hope or a sense of possibility in my place within that. So I hope that we can imbue a little bit of that.
It's the plan.
We'll see. And like, I know in these spaces, I can't guarantee this, but you know, this is often where I meet my friends as well. people that you really like. I think when you do this kind of depth work together, like you can't help but form like some bonds with people. And we hope that will build a bigger community here.
I mean,
as well.
you know, on a selfish level, I love working with my friend Maggie, because we've been parts of like the same ecosystem for so long, and now we're combining forces. But also all the people who've like expressed interest, I keep looking at their profiles or whatever else they send through, and I'm just amazed. So, you know,
there's so many people doing great work, and it's so cool working with your friends.
And then you have a network that you can lean into, that you can signpost to, that you can ask for help.
And I think that's something that's so needed within the yoga community. Our friend and colleague as well, Lucy, who's also a part of Tulca. Lucy does a lot of like co-facilitation with me, and she's a real disruptor in the best sense of the word. And she's a full-time yoga teacher and has been having like lots of conversations with people who are teachers as well, and they're maybe not being treated the best, or the things that they're kind of coming up against, and creating a lot of conversations around like how can we actually create an ecosystem that is supportive to yoga teachers, because you know most teachers are out there because they really love their students, they really want to show up, they really believe in the power of yoga and how it's an amazing healing modality and community, but also the teachers need to be looked after as well. So
and to have the accountability also for us, you know, for us to practice what we preach, but also to seek guidance when guidance can help, to conform to ethics, to have a shared way of standards and working and procedures that maybe aren't always fun to devise, but actually keep us safe and our students safe. It's all about, you know, saying what we do and doing what we say.
Patricia's very good at that. Trello boards, organisation. Maggie, your tasks are colour coded, which is great. It's a good balance to me. And I suppose it's just a reminder of like none of us do any of this really on our own. And I think for a long time as well, Tulca has been in formation for like so many years. It's mad. And like none of us really do it on our own. Like I've always felt like really hesitant and unconfident, but it's like having the other people that balance you out as well, working collaboratively and trying to work non-hierarchically, figuring all those kind of different ways of being that aren't like recreating like urgency culture, capitalism, burnout culture, all of those things. That's what I see a lot in the community volunteer sector, and undervalued the carers, like.
And to really resource community work, because whenever we think that there isn't enough, whenever we feel like we're competing with each other, that there can be only one of us, rather than looking at each other and being inspired, which is something we're trying to practice for sure, not to be threatened or in competition, but to use each other as little stepping stones for us all to move forward. We're really changing the way we do things.
We're trying to messily at times. It's we keep using the word emergent because it's like we're still forming. We're a flower, but we don't know what kind of one we are yet. Or like, you know, it ebbs and flows, doesn't it?
It does, for sure.
We're letting that be part of the process as well. So we're kind of blethering on here, but
that's okay. Got lots.
Is there anything else we want to say about the training that we're missing out?
No.
Any FAQs or hesitations people might have? I know some people, I think we've kind of talked about it already, but I know some people were saying like, oh, I'm not a yoga teacher, but it seems to be appealing to a lot of people who aren't yoga teachers as well, isn't it?
I would also say that yoga can be really intimidating, and there's probably people who've got teacher trainings and who've got a long-standing practice and they just don't feel confident to teach, because what we see online is people of a particular age, size, skin color, like all of that. And when you're not that, it can feel like you don't belong, and that's shifting, especially in studios like Maitri and in Belfast in general.
This is where we are now, Maitri.
We love Maitri.
We love Maitri.
But I know for myself, you know, I'm in a bigger body and I am neurodiverse and I'm, you know, an immigrant. So I've got lots of experiences of not belonging, which probably informed my classes long before I knew of the notion of trauma-informed practice.
And what a strength to inform and to shape how you teach, so that like you are more inclusive too.
And also then to realise when we have these spaces and we become someone who is not safe, because I don't necessarily think any person can be fully safe, but someone who is genuinely inclusive, genuinely interested in competence and development, then we don't really have to go looking for work or for people, because they tend to come. And that's definitely been my experience.
Yeah. And like healing is really relational too, isn't it? Like, so, and like it's funny because whenever I say I'm a yoga teacher, sometimes I actually cringe a little bit.
Yes.
Because people's perception of a yoga teacher, they're like, oh, what's like the most impressive pose you can do? And I'm like lying on my side for 5 minutes, like, what do you mean? I feel like actually what I do is very close to the heart of yoga. Like yoga is a liberatory practice, like, and liberation for all, not just for skinny white middle class women. So yeah, it's a funny one. Yeah, so if this kind of sounds like something like, maybe some people are like, that's not what I want, I just want to do physical asana. If that's kind of what you're looking for, we're probably not. And you want to teach, you only want to teach in studio. Not that like, actually, it's still great to have trauma-informed perspective in studio classes, but like we're not going to be doing a heavy like vinyasa, asana teaching. Like that's not what our weekend is at all.
I think this course might also need to come with a little bit of a warning label, because when you start to dismantle the structures that keep enforcing ways of life that are really not compatible with human needs, when you understand the impact of, you know, excluding each other or not meeting our needs, then it's quite hard to continue in mainstream spaces where there's only a particular group of people, where there's a certain kind of money, a certain kind of clothing, a certain kind of way of being, because you realize that in order for that space to maintain its exclusivity, others need to suffer. And so you might find this practice kind of unraveling.
That's the exact word I was thinking of, unraveling. And I feel like I'm constantly unraveling, really.
Yeah.
Like, which I think a constant one is maybe a bit more sustainable, but it's not necessarily easy either.
That's why we work together. We take our turns to unravel.
Yeah. It's like, who's unraveling today? We can't do it at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're really selling the course, but I'd be selling the course to me. This is what I'd want to hear if I go on a training.
Yeah. And I think like, what was I going to say about the unraveling? I think the thing as well, once you see, not that it's just all about unraveling and falling into despair or something, but like I think once you see what is possible, it's kind of hard to stay in the other space, if that makes sense. That it's like the unraveling actually can be, you know, oh, maybe we're creating something different. I kind of have a feeling that like there's going to be lots of sparks of like, there's lots of brilliant people coming already. Lots of creative, amazing people that maybe have ideas of something that might...
I think a lot of people who are coming have this notion of knowing that there is something else, but maybe there aren't spaces yet that are offering it.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be so cool if our space was one of the ones that you can't easily find? And maybe they could show people what's possible. So then all those people start doing what's possible, and suddenly there's a whole group of spaces where people come and rest without shame. And you know,
that was kind of one of the things we were talking about. We had our community care day on the 24th of June. So as you probably know, like there were pogroms in Belfast against our beloved migrant community, which was horrendous, but we kind of saw like the most horrific of humanity and also the most beautiful as well, just like people showing up on the ground, really relational, like gorgeousness. And we held a community care day in Maitri. I think we should maybe give a little tour of the room as well. In a moment, we'll turn the camera around. So we did a community care day. So like care is one of our like core like things that we care about in Tulca. So we wanted people to come along for all kind of different backgrounds, to be able to move, to meditate, to breathe, to rest together, to get really well fed, and just to have a lovely time. And it was so lovely, and it felt really important as well.
It felt like how life should be. Do you know, like somehow it was sort of futuristic and ancient.
Yeah.
Because it's what community used to be. We just all hung out with each other. Children were everyone's responsibility. Mothers got to rest. Like people got to show up for each other. And somehow we had this, and we're probably going to have it again. But right now we're in this nebulous time.
Yeah.
So more of that.
Yeah.
More of the ancient
also, like
future.
if people want to partner with us and pay us to do things like that, we're very happy to do that too.
Yes.
So yeah, we're also working on like lots of behind the scenes things with how to grow Tulca in a way that feels like sustainable and relational and aligned. Yeah, so there's lots in store. So stay tuned. I can't wait to meet everybody who's coming. We'll give you a little tour of the space. We're currently in my tree studio, which is in East Belfast. It is, what's that big junction called again? Isn't that the Albert Bridge? That's the one with the starlings. Yeah. If you know the ones that the starlings do their beautiful formation, that massive big junction.
Close to Conswater.
I can't even remember what it's called, but it's just past there. So it's just like slightly out of city centre, East Belfast. It's run by Claire Ferry, who is like such a community hearted person. My tree means loving kindness as well, and like we just really feel that in the space. It's not a fancy space, but it's very like welcoming, very down to earth.
Lots of props, lots of comfort.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
So we're gonna make it really lovely and cozy for you. And
one thing about Maggie loves an altar or a centerpiece.
An altar.
Maybe not an altar, but a centerpiece.
Yeah.
Maggie loves a centerpiece. You've got a gorgeous way of like making a thing in the center.
And I think maybe that could be nice to like co-create that together as well, with our intentions around what we want to get out of this weekend. And that's something in the registration form we really want to hear, like what your expectations are, what do you want, what's your background, why are you drawn to this, like
good questions. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, so get in touch with us, and I'll just do a little tour around the space. Let me see, how do I do this?
Might need to do a separate video because we're going to chop and change and cut anyway.
I might just turn it round just so this is all in one. So I don't know if you're going to be seeing this really well. So this is the biggest room in my tree. So lots of props over here. Behind the curtain, there's loads of bolsters and things. Bolsters, mats, blankets. Yeah. Gorgeous space. Oops.
Hey.
Do we have anything else we want to say?
I think we've said everything.
We've said a lot of things. So
yeah. Do you know Instagram's like keep it under a minute?
Yeah, that didn't really work, did it? No.
Yeah, I loved how we started out with like it's probably like a minute or two.
Yeah. 28 minutes. Yeah.
The joy.
We need a podcast.
But does the world need another podcast?
Not our own podcast. I don't think I have the energy to start a podcast. No. Okay.
But yeah, we should have a mic.
All right. Gurmila, San Harja.